Oh, poo, poo. It's the Sports Lounge. It's the After Easter edition. Get all your candy and your chips. 113th edition. We're talking golf, we're talking baseball, and some for goddamn reason we're talking hockey. David Shattenkirk. Hey, you. Oakland A's, 3-4. Suck it. Stack, Drew, Charlie. Marcus will be here later. Travis Kriens. The Masters completed here about a little under an hour ago. Jordan Spieth, 18 under, ties Mr. Woods' record for the best 18 under, the best 72-hole score. He bogeyed the final score. First person ever to post a 19 under at some point in the Masters. Wire to wire, a very impressive 64, 66, 70, and 70. They say the new era is here. Mr. Shattenkirk, the favorite, won this one. How impressive is this historically?
It's probably, no hyperbole here, it's probably one of the top 15 weeks in golf history, if not higher. You think about the way in the scoring records, his age, what happened to him last year. He was in the final group. Bubba ended up winning. He shot even par. I don't know if he finished second or he came in last year. I can't remember right now. But for him to come back this year, shoot 8 under on Thursday, and basically have the tournament in hand by Friday afternoon, do exactly what he needed to do on the weekend. 70-70, comfortable margin. Every time anybody started making a run, he'd make another putt, he'd make a par save, he'd make a birdie, he'd hit a shot in there close. The course itself played quite a bit easier this week than it has in the last couple of years. So the only thing preventing me from saying this is a top 5 week all time is that there were 2 other guys that were right there, 12, 13, 14 under par. Obviously, the margin, 4 strokes, felt like 100 all week, but there were other guys that got to double digits today. He had several good rounds out there. He won by 4 in 97 when Tiger won at 18 under. He won by 12. That's still, for my money and just about everybody's money, the most impressive week in golf history. To do that the way he did it, the course playing much harder than. It's incredible. He's 21 years old. He's setting himself up for a run here that could be something to watch. We got our American that's young. We got Rory McIlroy that's 25. He's got 4 majors. Matsuyama, my guy from Japan, finished in the top 5 like we alluded to in the blog this week. Got another thing right. Marcus and I both had Spieth winning. I think Stacking did too.
Yep.
It was pretty clear to see with the form he came in with that it was his to lose, and he didn't lose it. So good for him, and I can't wait. Only about 9 weeks until US Open week.
Drew, they say this is the new era. Is there more talk of this now than why wasn't there this talk when McIlroy when he won his first couple majors, or maybe I missed that talk? Or is it because we got 2 guys now that are early 20s that are, head-to-head? Everybody's expecting Spieth and McIlroy to be there for the next 15 years. Is that why this is the new era of golf?
It could be that Spieth is an American, and there hasn't really been somebody quite on Spieth's level from America. Ricky Fowler is really good and had a really good year last year, but he didn't win. So maybe that's part of it. There's a Texas kid who is precocious and has a major under his belt when he's 21. Maybe that's something that had to happen for us to start talking about eras. Or maybe that was just Jim Nantz just being Jim Nantz. I don't know.
I enjoyed they did a thing there at the end, whoever it was, Nick Faldo or Jim Nantz. They said Arnold Palmer's last Masters was 04, whatever it was, and Phil Mickelson won. And they made the comparison that Jack Nicklaus's last British Open was 05, and Tiger Woods won. And then Jordan Spieth won this year, and this was Ben Crenshaw's last Open. Like, that's a comparable example to those first 2. It's like, no, Ben Crenshaw, quite a bit down the list compared to those first 2 guys. So
Ben Crenshaw's not on your Mount Rushmore of golf?
Maybe if I had 50 people on the Mount Rushmore, it'd probably make it. Not so much. Nathan Stacken, you've been known to be bold enough to say that Mr. McIlroy will break Nicklaus's all-time record of 18. To get to 20, we laugh, but he's a quarter of the way there.
Yep.
Mr. Spieth, tickle our funny bone. What will he do over these next 20 years, majors-wise?
If I can amend my previous statement.
No.
You may not.
Well,
Okay, wait, here. Make this count. We're giving you this chance. Jordan Spieth. 5'10", 106. This is the one we're going to look back at.
not 106. He's not going to win 5. Not going to win 6. Not 7. But he's going to win. I'm going to say at least a dozen majors.
Okay. I had you pegged for 15. You got 12.
I'm going to say at least a dozen. When we're talking about the heirs, I think it is good to point out that you have that budding. I don't know if you want to call it a rivalry, but you have two really young stars with Jordan Spieth and Rory McIlroy. And with Jordan being able to lead wire to wire, I think that helps the game of golf a lot because they've gotten to know who Jordan Spieth was for 4 days. Not like, he came back from 2 or 3 strokes down to beat a Justin Rose or a Phil Mickelson. I love what Jordan Spieth did this week. I thought he was going to win because he would take what he did last year at the Masters and really put that to good use. I've listened to David a lot. I'll lean on his expertise when it comes to Jordan Spieth, and I think that Matsuyama from Japan, he's going to be good as well. But I'm going to give Spieth at least a dozen. I'll stick with it since I said Rory would have 20, so I will say that still. But Spieth is going to compete with him for a number of years to come, and it's great for the sport of golf. I can't wait. I can't wait to watch these majors and see these guys go at it for years to come.
Well, I'm sorry to disappoint. You're going to have to wait, okay? You're going to have to wait a couple months.
As of right now, if he finished with 12, that would be the third most majors of all time of anyone in history. Do you still want to stick that Spieth finishes with the third most major wins ever?
Yes.
Well, it would be fourth after McIlroy, Nicklaus.
Okay. And then, and if McIlroy gets that high, then it would be fourth. And then I guess Ben Crenshaw just misses the Mount Rushmore to those 4 then.
Hey, he's got to win one more to tie Crenshaw.
Yeah, that'll be tough. That'll be tough to do by the end of the year.
That's true. All these jokes about Crenshaw, he's actually been a pretty good golfer.
Here comes Ben Crenshaw's great-grandson, one Marcus Traxler himself.
I want to kill him every fucking week.
Gentle Ben, how did he do this week, son? How did he do?
He did very bad. Very bad. And it's because he's too damn old. I told him that. I've told him that for 10 years at least now. And let's see here. 91.85. Not good. Not good, old Ben.
Giving Mike Weir a run for the money. He was within what about a half dozen shots of Weir?
That's right.
Not bad. Charlie, did this make you more interested that there was the young up-and-comer pulling away from it, record-setting performance? Or would you have liked to have seen, because there were big names in the top 5 there, Woods and Mickelson and Rory and everybody's bests. Would you have liked to have seen I'm sure, if it was, 13, 14 under instead of 18 under, or were you fine with the record-setting performance versus the shit show at the end?
I thought the record-setting performance was fun. Even if you take away the big names, I would have just preferred to have there have been 3 guys really competing at the end within a stroke or 2. I don't have anything against Spieth. And I think it was kind of fun to see and something that, hopefully we can remember for a while how great he played, especially the first 2 rounds. But I always prefer the photo finish with multiple guys and, somebody getting a birdie late's a huge deal. Someone making a 17-foot putt to save par is a huge deal so they don't drop a spot. So I would have preferred that, but I don't want to make it sound like, I'm horribly disappointed with the way this worked out. It was still fun to see.
Marcus, McIlroy or Spieth, who would you pick for the next 15 years?
I'll just say Rory because he has the track record, a little bit more of a track record. Rory, a couple years ago, U.S. Open had a win a lot like this where he blew everybody away. I think golf's better off when you have competition, but the TV ratings have shown that they like when Tiger wins a lot and wins big, and I don't remember the ratings specifically from when Rory won, and I don't know what the ratings will be here. I imagine they'll be decent, and so I think Rory, I'll just take him right now because he's shown that he can do a little bit more. But I mean, right? I would guess that both guys are going to be our guys for the next 10 years.
Anybody want to take Spieth in that head-to-head?
I'm not going to be Skip Bayless prisoner of the moment and say that.
Okay, good. Everybody's got McIlroy by a hair in the Spieth and McIlroy head-to-head.
I think the ratings. Since I enjoy ratings, I think the ratings this year will be higher than they were last year when Bubba Watson won it. If they aren't, I will take a week of absence from the show.
Oh, Jesus Christ. From what I can see, you won't be here next week anyway, probably. So that's probably...
I probably will.
Okay, we'll hold you to that.
Well, depending on how the ratings come, you can't say probably. We got to wait and get the numbers.
That's right. Apparently, the ratings were a 5-year high overnight for Saturday, or the best since 2011, and the par 3 did well. So every metric said that the first few days of this tournament was the best in a few years. So I would Schwartzel. Again, I'll say it. Charles Schwartzel, Terry Vanderveck, Pacers head coach Frank Vogel, and Jerry Seinfeld. They're the same person. So
Oh my God!
People like Schwartzel. This is for sure. Do you want to get into the trivia now? Do you want to break this up a little bit? I know Mr. Trax or Hard Adam there putting down something hard.
You know me.
What do you got going there?
Well, I have 2 already written down, and I wanted to have this third one written down so I could cross them off as I go.
Okay, you get that done.
So, would you like? I mean, which ones would you?
Charlie's. We're going to see how many of these we're going to do here. Maybe a best of 5, maybe best of 7. We'll see. Charlie's got a good one that I really like.
This is head-to-head. This is the Summit Series contest between Mr. Schottenkirk and Amon. Is that correct?
I'm not getting a fucking bushel of corn, putting it in a dish. I'm not.
No, the Summit Series between Canada and Russia for world supremacy in hockey in the 80s.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, it wasn't that great.
No, David, you're a wrestling guy, I think. Explain this rivalry between you and Amon. Is this a budding rivalry? Is this the first of many? How would you describe this? Give me the wrestling equivalent.
I think it's manufactured drama for the most part. I think I'm been the big talker throughout. Almost been the innocent bystander. But
is this Jericho Goldberg in '98? What is this?
That's not actually that bad. But I've been the one that's been pushing for this, and I think I'm quite confident that my abilities. Or who knows? Maybe he'll come out of nowhere and be a surprise winner, or be Rey Mysterio win the belt. Smallest guy come out of nowhere and get it done. I'm giving him a chance. I like my chance.
Comparison involving David Schottenkirk, and you don't mention Stone Cold.
Stone Cold. Is this Austin Rock 1998 before they were big time? Right when they were getting there.
I'll say that's a compliment for both of us. Almond can be Rock, so I think he'll take that.
No.
Or is this a Rock Triple H Iron Man match from like 2002?
That's more like it.
Just like I think it's like Stone Cold, Rey Mysterio Jr.
All right, Charlie Hildebrand, start us off.
I'm assuming you want the more specific question as opposed to the one related to the one specific major.
Sure.
Okay.
I liked your question.
This one, this isn't career Grand Slam, but career Grand Slams when you win all 4 majors. There are 12 guys that have won 3 of the 4 majors. Can you name the 12 golfers that are missing 1 major from it being a Grand Slam?
Whoa.
This is the more difficult of the 2 that I did.
Drew goes first this one. Schottenkirk goes first the second one. We'll alternate.
I go first. All right. I will kick it off with Phil Mickelson.
Phil Mickelson, that is correct. He is missing the U.S. Open. Mr. Schottenkirk.
Let's go Lee Trevino, missing the Masters.
Lee Trevino, missing the Masters. That is correct.
I will go with Rory McIlroy.
Rory McIlroy, also missing the Masters. That is correct.
Tom Watson.
Tom Watson missing the PGA Championship. That is correct.
Oh boy.
Stacking gives no shits. He just leaves.
There are 12 total. You guys have named 4. There are 8 left.
That's a tough one. I will go with Vijay Singh.
Vijay Singh is not on this list. So I'm assuming he has only 1, 2.
Sam Snead.
Sam Snead did not win the U.S. Open. That is correct.
What are
you eating? What are you eating? Just yogurt?
Mm-mm. It's a pineapple pretzel whipped cream.
Put it on mute.
Salad.
It's not bad. Who are the others? They named 5 of the 7.
I've got one more if you want it.
Sure, go ahead.
Byron Nelson.
Byron Nelson did not win the British Open. That is
How about
correct.
Nick Faldo? No?
Nick Faldo is not on this list. You said it, and I thought he would be, but he is not.
Is Tom Watson up there?
Yeah, I named
Tom
him,
Watson was named, and that is
Okay.
correct. The other ones are Walter Hagen, Jim Barnes, Tommy Armour, Harold Hilton, Raymond Floyd, and then the biggest name that was not mentioned, Arnold Palmer, never won a PGA Championship.
How about it?
Yeah.
Good first question, tough question. Got about half of them. Stacking. You got something for us?
I do. I don't think you're going to like this one, but then again, you don't like what I have to say most of the time, so that's something different.
Okay.
All right. Give me the major championship courses that have been played since 2010.
Ooh.
How many are there?
Good Lord.
By my estimation, I didn't count this up here, obviously. Should be 13.
Okay.
Since 2000?
Wait.
2010.
Let me quick add this up here. I'll be right back with you after a word from these messages.
2010.
I had the same question going back to 2000.
That's a lot.
There's 34 going back to 2000. 35. I mean.
Do you want to make this a joint question? What do the parties have to say here, Mr.
We could, yeah. I'm not offended.
Mr. Stacking? Is this what say you?
60. I'm fine with that. I put down the city that they were in too, so you could give me either the city or the name of the golf course or golf club.
Stacking's at half these majors. I mean, shoddy.
Bam. Schottenkirk, give us one of the 100.
Let's start with Pebble Beach.
Pebble Beach twice.
So we're going since 2000.
Yeah.
All right.
A Stacking Traxxer production here.
Just like the show. Just like what we put on at Flandreau.
All right, let's get this going.
It was sold out last week.
That's right.
Shut up! All right, Augusta National.
You got it.
Nope.
Whistling Straits.
Whistling Straits 3 times, it looks like. 3 times. 3 times.
Last one in 2010.
Yep.
Bethpage Black.
Yep, twice.
St. Andrews.
St. Andrews every 5 years.
Trying to think of a British Open one. Go with Royal Liverpool.
Last year, you got it.
Hazeltine.
Yep, twice since 2002.
I'm going to go with Medina.
Yes, Medina 2006 PGA Championship.
Turnberry.
Turnberry, yep.
Torrey Pines.
Torrey Pines 2008 U.S. Open.
Southern Hills.
Southern Hills is the only one on this list since 2000 that's hosted both the U.S. Open and the PGA Championship.
I'm going to go with Olympic Club.
Olympic Club 2012 U.S. Open.
Shinnecock Hills.
Yep, 2004 U.S. Open, New York.
I'm going to go with Valhalla.
Valhalla, yes.
What an epic back and forth this is. One of the great questions of time.
I'm done. Damn.
You're done. Nope.
No, go ahead.
Congressional.
Yep.
Congressional, 2011. I would also take the site of this year's tournaments as well. If you have that.
Mr. Amon to stay alive.
Dang it.
To avoid going down 2-0 heading on the road for games 3, 4, and 5.
I can only think of one, and it's already been said! Killing me. Trying to think of... Spyglass Hill.
Is there a ruling here? Is there a ruling?
Get a ruling on Spyglass Hill.
Spyglass Hill not hosted a major.
Shit.
Sorry, did not hear that.
So the winner what?
Winner there, yes. You started, yes. Any more to the group? What else did we have here on the list?
My connection must have cut out. Did Schottenkirk have a guess?
Schottenkirk, he won it. Because he started it off. He got it right. Amon didn't want to continue.
Yeah. 8 more.
Stacking. I guess you want to give them a list of a couple that they missed?
Yep. I'll go. You got all the ones in 2010. You missed Royal St. George's and Atlanta Athletic Club in 2011. Royal Lytham and St. Anne's Golf Club in 2012. Kiowa Island Resort Ocean Course. Marion Golf Club, Muirfield, Oak Hills Country Club, and Pinehurst.
This year's U.S. Open at Chambers Bay in Washington. And the one notable that is kind of famous and was missed, Oakmont in Pittsburgh. Church Row Bunkers.
Bunkers.
Also, Oakland Hills hosted the 2008 PGA Championship in suburban Detroit. That's the official course of Mark Ovenden.
Blyleven hates it. It's a piece of shit.
Blyleven thinks it's terrible, yeah.
My question is...
It also had to close due to bankruptcy issues, so...
Shocking. My question, 19 answers. How about this? I will not accept Tiger Woods as an answer. Is it okay if I take him out of it? He is an answer to this, but I will not accept it. Is that okay?
Sure.
Fine.
Okay. 19 guys since 1992 have led the tour in wins. Who are those 19 guys? Tiger Woods is one of them. He would make it 20, but he is out of this question. So, Drue Ahmed, 1992 leaders in wins on the tour. Ties are accepted, so if 3 different guys both had 3 wins apiece, they all count. So
it's most wins on the tour.
No, leading since '92.
Okay.
Leading the tour for a year in wins.
All right.
Okay.
Sure. All right. I will go first with Vijay Singh.
Vijay Singh in 2004. Yes.
David Duval.
David Duval in 98.
David Duval, what happened to that guy?
The next,
I'm not going to be sure of like any answer because it's not. No, I'll go with. Give me Rory McIlroy.
Rory McIlroy, 2012, and last year. So.
Okay.
David Shattenkirk.
Let's go last year, Jimmy Walker.
Jimmy Walker last year as well, tied with Mr. McIlroy, 3 wins apiece. $15 guys left.
Since 92, starting in 92.
1992 till 2014. Led the tour in wins that year.
Ernie Els.
Ernie Els is not on this list.
Shit.
For the win, Mr. Shattenkirk.
Phil did it. Greg Norman did it. Keegan Bradley a couple years ago. Bubba Watson a couple years ago.
Phil Mickelson in 98. Greg Norman in 95. An outstanding 7 mediocre golfers did it in 2011. Keegan Bradley, one of those.
How about Tom Kite?
Tom Kite did not. He was not on this list.
How about Nick Faldo?
Nick Faldo, not on this list either.
What about
That would have been my first guess after Tiger.
Love.
What about Nick Price?
Nick Price in 93 and 94. Did somebody say Davis Love III in 92? He was tied for the lead. So the most obscure of the 7 in 2011 would be Mark Wilson, whoever the fuck Mark Wilson is, and John Cook in 1992. So. Charlie Hildebrand, what do we got?
My second one, I thought that there was a good chance people would go Masters-related stuff, so I didn't do the Masters for this one. There are 27 gentlemen who have won multiple British Opens. Can you guys name the 27 guys who have won multiple British Opens? And as you could imagine, a lot of the guys did not do it in the 20th or 21st century. But a lot of them did do it in the 20th or 21st century.
Cool. Who starts it?
David starts this one.
Multiple British. Let's go Tiger.
Tiger Woods has won 3, 2000, 05, and 06.
Gary Player.
Gary Player has also won 3 in 59, 68, and 74.
Jeez, he's old as dirt.
Padraig Harrington.
Padraig Harrington has won 2 in 07 and 08.
Tom Watson.
Tom Watson has won 5 of them. I'm not even going to list all 5.
What a greedy son of a bitch.
Almost got that 6th a few years ago, but missed that 10-foot putt.
And everyone hates Stuart Sink because of it.
He's an asshole.
Nick Faldo.
Nick Faldo, yes, he has won 3, 87, 90, and 92.
Don't you have to say Sir Nick Faldo?
No.
Oh.
Quiet. Seve Ballesteros.
Seve, my guy from Hispania, was won 3, 79, 84, and 88.
Only living people, please. Only living.
If it was only living people, it'd just be a much shorter list.
5 people.
Ernie Els.
Ernie Els. Yep, he has won 2, 02 and 2012.
Pretty sure we've not said Jack Nicklaus.
Jack Nicklaus. Apparently the British Open was his worst. He only won 3 in 66, 70, and 78.
Walter Hagen.
Walter Hagen won 4 of them between 22 and 29.
Arnold Palmer.
Arnold Palmer won 2 of them in 61 and 62.
Bobby Jones.
Bobby Jones won 3 in 26, 27, and 30. We are quickly running out of guys from the 2000s and 1900s, and still have all of the 1800s guys left.
There's maybe one ancient old timer I might know. Greg Norman.
Yeah, that's the guy.
That's the one.
Greg Norman won 2, 1986 and 1993.
He also won in 1876.
Yep.
Peter Thompson, staying with the Australian team.
Peter Thompson. Oh, yep, he is on this list. Didn't see him because he's really close to the top. He won it 5 times. Between 54 and 65.
I might have to throw out the 1 or 2 old-timers I know. Tom Morris Sr.
Oh!
That is
Nice.
correct. He won 4 of them between 1861 and 1867.
That was a strong field that year. That was a strong field.
Harry Vardon.
Harry Vardon. He has the most with 6 between 1896 and 1914.
This is insane.
Yeah, this has gone on longer than I thought it would, so kudos to both.
Vardon. Harry Vardon.
6-time winner. Come on.
All right. Well, you know something?
I think I know where Amon's going with this one. Maybe, maybe not.
Tom Morris had a kid named Tom Morris Jr.
That is correct. Tom Morris Jr. also won 4.
I'm not
Tom Morris.
Tom Morris Sr. won in 61, 62, 64, and 67 of the 1800s. And Jr. won in 68, 69, 70, and 72. I saw on his Wikipedia page he died at the age of 24 then, so who knows how many he could have won.
If Shoddy can name another one, my God.
I've got 2 more for you at least.
Unbelievable!
J.H. Taylor.
John Henry Taylor won 5 between 1894 and 1913.
How many are left?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 10 left, and there is one that everyone in this chat would have heard of before. I'm not saying he's Tiger Woods famous, but he's someone that you'd probably know.
A living one.
As far as I know, he is still alive.
To stay alive, David started the deal to go another round. Earlier today, he ate the Ruffles brand cheddar and sour cream, a fairly large bag by his standards. According to sources, 75 to 90 individual chips were consumed.
I'm just going to end up saying one that's probably already been said. Did we say Lee Trevino?
Oh boy!
Lee Trevino is on this list. He won it too in 71 and 72.
Nice.
And is one of 2 golfers seen in the movie Happy Gilmore.
Nice.
Where he shakes his head a whole bunch of times.
Who's the other?
I saw this on IMDb. It was a name I did not recognize. There's some other guy you see in the scene where I think Shooter McGavin talks about spending more time in the sand than David Hasselhoff, and they mentioned Nick Faldo once, but he's not seen. And those are the golfers in Happy Gilmore.
Very good.
Little side note fact.
Nice. I'll pop that up on the screen there. David.
I've got 2 more almonds, so you're screwed. 3-time back-to-back-to-back 1800s Bob Ferguson.
Bob Ferguson, 1880, 1881, and 1882. Out of Scotland. That is correct.
But the only reason
While
I know
Reconstruction was going on, he was winning the British Open.
the only reason I know that is because one of those was at St. Andrews, and that's what's at this year. So.
Okay, all right. My last guess is William Howard Taft.
Bill Taft.
The funny thing, he is not on this list, but there are two Willies on this list. But there is not a Taft.
Will Johnson. Is a guy named
He's
Johnson.
stuck in the bathtub still.
Mark Harrelson.
Yeah. Poor old Taft.
Staggin went with the Morris Sr. and Morris Jr., so I'll go Willie Park Sr. and Willie Park Jr.
Yep, Willie Park Sr. and Willie Park Jr. Another, I'm assuming they were father and son.
Yep.
So there are two British Open father, son, same names, junior and seniors, and that's interesting.
No, when Tom Morris fathered him.
Stacken has no more questions?
No, I have none.
Would you Tractor has at least one, I have one. Would you like to open up to a group, a little battle royale, if you will?
I have one that I definitely would open up to the group, maybe both of them.
Okay.
I think, real quick, I do want to give credit to both Stacken and Amin for doing very well on the British Open one. There were 27 total, and you guys got all but 1, 2, 3, 4. You got all but 6 of them.
I'd
and
love
I think
to keep credit, but I didn't participate.
What's the biggest name we missed, Charlie?
James Braid,
Oh, yeah.
5 between 1901 and 1910. Bobby Locke won 4 between 1949 and 1957.
Yeah, I should have got
Jamie
that.
Anderson won it 3 years in a row, 77, 78, and 79 of the 1800s. Henry Cotton won 3 between 1934 and 1948. Bob Martin won 2 in 1876 and 1885. And Harold Hilton won 2 in 1892 and 1897.
Yeah, I knew that
So
one.
I think it's safe to say you guys got all except the most obscure of the obscure ones. So
Well done, Drew.
congratulations to both.
No shame,
Annika-
losing Schottenkirk.
Annika Sorenstam.
There's one question I was hoping would get asked, and it didn't. That's too bad. Maybe I'll ask it here.
Okay, do you have it written down? Do you have it written down?
Yeah, I got it. It's in my head.
Okay, go.
All right, here we go.
What order? Give us the order. What order do you want us to answer now? Type it out.
Charlie, Marcus, Stacken, Travis, Shotty goes last.
Of course.
There are more than 5 answers.
Actually, no. There's only like there's 5 answers exactly.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm starting so I can hopefully get the easy
Yep.
one.
Here we go.
Tiger Woods.
5 major winners from Ireland.
Motherfucker.
Who are they?
Let's
Sorry,
see.
oh.
I'm probably
Hold on,
going to embarrass
hold on.
myself and get confused on who's from Ireland and who's from Scotland.
Seamus.
I'm really going to feel dumb because I feel like he's not from actually Ireland, and it might be Scotland. I'm going to go Rory McIlroy, though.
You're right. He is from Ireland.
Northern Ireland, let's make it clear. Come on, so we don't get any lawsuits or anything. Northern Ireland.
Count it.
Is it my turn?
Yes, we have the list on the side. Do you see the list?
This is no, I don't have the list.
Sure. Group chat. Charlie, Marcus, Stack, and me, Shacker.
And this is they only had to win 1 major, right?
Oh, yeah, won a major. There's 5 of them who have won a major.
Padraig Harrington.
Shit.
Attaboy. Attaboy. Hey, the Stacken.
Well, I mean, my top 2 choices were already taken.
Good.
Again.
Sorry, got mine. I can cheat and look on my British Open list and see if I can find any more Irelands now.
Patrick McDougal.
No.
Is Louis Oosthuizen from there or not?
South Africa.
So close. It's like right next door.
Yeah. They have white guys with funny accents. I mean, that's the same thing, right?
How's your guess? Was Louis?
Yep, gap tooth. I'll go Oosthuizen.
All right, well, that brings us to Shoddy.
Just one rather obvious one, Graham McDowell.
Graham McDowell.
Gosh. No. Oh, he is. Yeah, never mind.
No.
I thought he was from England.
There's what, 2 left? I got one more. I don't know about the other one.
Yep.
Charlie.
I don't know. I'll guess Ernie Els.
South Africa.
Nope.
Yep.
All right.
If this was a South African question, we'd be kicking ass.
Oh,
Or
no,
DJ Sting.
I just thought of the other one. I got them both.
Marcus, for tie.
Darren Clark.
Mm-hmm.
Well done. Well done.
The final one. Shot
Final one.
Final one, the only, not the father, but Fred Daly.
Yep, Fred Daly is the other one. He won the 1947 British Open.
He loves Diet Coke just as much as his boy John, though.
Right. That's why he prefaced saying not the father.
You don't know that.
I'm quite positive.
It's unfair to assume that, Sean Kirk.
Unfair.
Yep.
I'm fair to assume he used protection, right?
Yep.
Yes. You want to talk some baseball now? You want to talk baseball?
Well, I gladly would.
Did my Stros win at 3-3?
Mr. Traxler, give us a update if you would on the standings. 1 week in, we all picked teams. They all did shit.
This was a bad week for the picks.
500, baby.
Shotkirk, he pulled one out of his butt and is the winner of the week.
Yes.
He went
Winner
3-3
of the
with the Astros. You can thank George Springer for his tremendous catch here today. Let's see here. Giants went 3-4 for Charlie, as did the Athletics for myself and my brother.
Cheaters.
Travis 2-4 with the Nationals. You couldn't have picked a worse week probably to take the Nationals this year.
They'll be lucky to win 60 games. I'm happy with 2.
Brewers 1-5. Sorry, Nathan.
There you go.
And Drue Amon 1-5 with the Marlins.
Right.
Can
Woo!
we play that shitty South Dakota song now, Travis?
Jesus Christ Almighty.
So, as you might imagine, David ahead right now on winning percentage. He's right at 500. Everybody else below, and it looks like we may all. I mean, if we can finish at 500, that would be good.
Sean Kirk's ahead on aggregate.
That's not how aggregate works, but yeah.
Okay. Next week, we already have some goddamn guys that have picked for next week.
We do, yeah.
Do we pick
David
those
and-
now?
David and Drew have the Blue Jays.
God damn it.
Travis Kriens with the Padres.
Otro Samer de España.
And I have the Mets. Meet the Mets.
All right, I'll let the
Bachelors.
Thursdays here and give you my pick.
Okay, what do we got?
What?
I'm going
we'll-
to do this quick and give you the pick before the end of the
We'll
show.
give you time. We'll give you time, Charlie, as well.
Should
You
I
haven't
just give mine now?
Sure.
I've
Want
got
to?
mine already.
If
I will
you've got
take
yours,
the Kansas City Royals.
Oh,
Pretty
man.
good. Pretty good.
Who the Royals got this week?
The
Twins.
Twins. Oh, look at that.
God
9-0.
damn.
The Kansas City Royals and the Detroit Tigers are both at. They both sit at a perfect 6-0. They're the only undefeated teams in the game. They have not lost a single game. Meanwhile, I believe
Since
every team has
Kentucky
won.
couldn't go 40-0, do you think Detroit or Kansas City have a shot to get to 162-0?
Well, they are on pace. Meanwhile, you have a few teams that have won one game. The Milwaukee Brewers, the Miami Marlins, the Minnesota Twins are among that group, and the New York Yankees, when they lose tonight, will also be 1-5. So those are your highlights of the baseball season out of the to the basketball. So, well, we'll spend more time on the baseball.
Wait. Matt Harvey?
We got Matt Harvey Pitcher. We got a lot of stuff. People lost their shit over this Twins start. They went absolutely insane. was it 24-1 versus Detroit, and it looks like, what do you know, Detroit's playing well right now. I refrain from calling any team good or bad because we are 6 goddamn games in, but I will say they're playing well or not well, and Detroit seems to be playing well right now since they have not lost. Twins face Chris Sale today. You expect to lose that one, closer than you thought. David Price, you expect to lose that one. Annabelle Sanchez with Nolasco, that's a fucking shame. You expect to see that one. So you expect at least 3 losses. They go 1-5. A couple games they gave away there versus Chicago. But Mr. Amon, was this the perfect start for those that want to see the Twins do poorly?
It was. It was because all of their players that suspiciously are borderline major league players have stepped in and been borderline major league players, and as a result, they have sucked. I mean, it's one thing to be 1-5, but I don't know what their run differential is right now, but it's not good. And that's funny. It's after 1 week, so it doesn't really matter. You know, there's 28 weeks in a season, so we're like 1/28 of the way through it or whatever. So that was a fun week of baseball to watch, huh? Defense and everybody's hitting about 174. I think they're hitting less than 200 as a team.
Yes.
And starting pitching's not good. Bullpen's a absolute mess. So it was fun. Fun time.
Ricky Nolasco was hurt again. He hurt his elbow.
Yeah.
Trevor May will start tomorrow versus Kansas City in the home opener. Ricky Nolasco. Him and Pelfrey. What do you do with Ricky Nolasco now? He's still got 3 years left. He claims he's healthy, but then he is not. You wrote a bit about it in the blog with your preview. Ricky Nolasco is not very good. A average National League pitcher comes to the American League and becomes one of the worst American League pitchers. What the fuck are they going to do with this guy if he doesn't turn this around?
Well, it's all in Nolasco's hands. When you're held hostage, you have to consider taking whatever ransom that they offer. Now, Ricky hasn't done that yet, but he should think about doing that soon. Say, give me $20 million and I'll go away. I think they should highly consider doing that. I was talking to my brother the other day how they should just pretend that one of these young guys is being paid $5.5 million and just dump Pelfrey and just pretend that you're paying a different guy $5 million when you aren't. What's the harm in that?
What we saw from Mike Pelfrey yesterday, is that the best we can expect? 5 innings, 4 runs.
He's terrible. He has no good pitches. Well, he can hit 95, that's fine, but he can't locate at all, and none of his other pitches have any movement on it or anything. Dog shit dog Pel, good. Yeah, I agree.
Give me some positives. What are the positives? Tommy Malone, good.
Tom Malone. We should go through who the best players are after the first week. You got Malone, and then who the hell's number 2? Maybe
Mauer did well. Santana's done well these last 2 games.
J.R. Graham?
J.R. Graham has looked good.
Pathetic.
Besides that, Torrey Hunter looks 100 years old.
Yeah.
I like how he makes that diving catch in right field.
Yeah.
They shit themselves over that.
Cue the highlight reel from 13 years ago.
He makes that base running play and he scores a run. Everybody goes absolutely insane. Meanwhile, he's hitting, was he like 2 of 20? So terrific. Not a ton of positives. Plouffe swinging and missing at everything. My God.
Who's that guy for Oakland the other night that struck out 4 times on 12 pitches?
Brett Lowry.
Yeah. It was not good.
He's
they played your younger sister in RBI baseball and throwing in balls the whole time.
Drew Butter, Hitter of the Week nominee.
Bam.
Oh.
My Drew Butter, Hitter of the Week, would have to be Evan Gannis. He has struck out a dozen times and he doesn't have a hit. He's 0 for 20, 0 for 21. I mean, anybody else have a goddamn candidate?
You can't get worse than that.
You cannot get worse than 0.
He's the guy.
He's the guy.
Congrats.
Drew
Matt.
Butter. Now we go to the Matt Harvey Pitcher of the Week, a nondescript pitcher, or somebody that you think deserves more credit, and a added stipulation, somebody that you think is going to be worth the shit. So, Marcus, any candidates for you this week? I had 3, and I'm going with one of them.
I think my candidate is for sure on your list, if nothing else.
Sure.
Sonny Gray of the Oakland Athletics, off to a very nice start. 15 innings, 15 and a third innings, and he has allowed just 7 hits, 1 earned run. Batters hitting 135 against him. I guess he only had 1 of the 3 wins for Oakland. But
is he too well known? I opened this up to the group. Is he too well known? Is he too big of a star?
He was 14-10 last year. That was his first full season in the major leagues, and I don't remember him doing anything notable last year. Before then, he was a minor leaguer, split time between Oakland and Sacramento. So I think he's
qualified.
I think he's qualified.
Number 1 overall, first round pick, 18th overall, 2011 to Oakland. It's weird. They picked him in 2011, and he's already in the majors. Christ, he was in the majors last year. Weird. I thought he had to spend at least 5 years in the fucking.
It only took him like 3 seasons to get there.
That's insanity.
Lord.
Fucking insanity.
He's a prodigy.
Weird. Any other candidates for you?
Not for me, no.
Okay.
Anybody
else?
I've got one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with David Schottenkirk's man, Carlos Carrasco.
Yeah.
Ooh, good.
He was stellar.
What did he do? 7 and some odd innings against
6
Houston?
goals, 10
Like
strikeouts.
6 2/3, 11 Ks.
So that is your Cy Young Award winner for David, and he pitched very well the other night versus Houston. 6 1/3, 10 strikeouts. Very good. 3 hits.
Yeah, if you strike out the Astros 10 times, yay.
What's the conversion rate? Is that like just 6 strikeouts against most teams?
That's like 19 strikeouts against the Twins.
What did they count black people towards the census? 2/3?
3/5 compromise.
3/5? Same conversion here. 3/5.
How about Trevor Bauer?
What did he do?
Hey,
He helped combine for almost a no-hitter against the Astros.
Boom! He did something too. Look at this. Tons of guys. I have 3 candidates myself. Who's the first?
Is Sonny Gray not on your list?
No, he's not on my list. No. I thought he was too well known. I thought people knew who the fuck he was.
No, I didn't know him.
Archie Bradley up on your list, Kriens.
No, I mean he's a big time deal. I'm looking for obscure motherfuckers here.
Don't say Jake Arrieta then.
No, he pitched very well last year.
Well, we got to get a reliever out there, don't we?
How about this one? My oddball pick of the week.
Not unless it's a 2-inning save.
7-inning saves, 100 pitches. I don't know what they did today. I think they gave up some runs today, but heading into today, collectively, the Atlanta Braves bullpen had tossed 18 scoreless innings with old fuckers Jim Johnson and Jason Grilly at the back end. So the best that they've done since 1966, 18 scoreless innings to start the season. So that bullpen collectively was a nominee. I also had Jimmy Nelson of the Brewers, pitched very, very well this weekend. And I also had Dallas Keuchel for the Houston Astros. 2 starts.
last year?
He may have been, yes.
He is too well known.
Is he too? Oh, do you know who Dallas Keuchel is?
I do.
Good. So I'm fine with him being off the list if he's too well. I feel like Dallas Keuchel should be elevated to that next level of pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. All right.
So we got candidates there, half dozen of them. Who do we like here? Who first of the year? The T Steakhouse. In the envelope, I just have to send the address to it to team headquarters. Anybody feel strongly one way or the other?
Carrasco's my vote.
I feel strongly against giving it to a group of people.
Okay.
I would say that Carlos Carrasco, if if Drue had made the motion, I'll second that.
I will do that as well. Carlos Carrasco. I like that.
You don't have to third it though. That's not
I know.
something you can do.
Just setting up for my Cy Young pick to get shelled next time out, so it's all good.
There we go. Do I have a motion? Yes. Do I have a second? Why the fuck not? Carlos Carrasco, your first week Matt Harvey Pitcher of the Week. Hopefully he speaks English.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough to order at the T Steakhouse otherwise.
I will have the meat, is what he will say. A 2-0 win over the big time lineup there in Houston. 6 1/3 shutout baseball. 3 hits, a walk, 10 strikeouts. So his ERA is at 0, the same as ours.
Yep.
So Carlos Carrasco, 28-year-olds from Venezuela. I look forward to when he gets popped for the steroids.
Stands all.
Just hands and all. Amon, what do we know about the drugs they're taking?
They are really legit steroids, turns out. So they should consider not doing that because they're not going to get away with it.
What do you got? 3 guys so far?
I think it's 3.
Irvin Santana,
Like a Mets pitcher
Familia,
and one other guy.
some other guy. I believe they're all Dominican Republic, Latin
Yeah.
American.
Yeah.
Any when 3 guys do this, is there a trend there? Is there a language barrier of sorts there? Is there anything more than just them trying to beat the system?
I have no idea. It could be a guy is giving them stuff, and the guy who gives them the stuff doesn't know that there's stanozolol in there, or the guy does know and doesn't tell them. I mean, I don't know.
I think that's what it is. I think the guy obviously knows, and he probably gets paid well to get that stuff. He doesn't tell the guys. That's still no excuse. Don't put needles in your arm.
Is this an April Fool's joke gone wrong?
Yes. Just stick to whoopee cushions, kids.
Good.
Very good. Very good.
All right, I gotta go. Thanks for your time, gent.
Very good. Give us your Stanley Cup Finals pick. Who plays who? What game will I not watch?
You will not watch. Well, you will not watch Winnipeg, Calgary, but Canada will be watching.
That's Calgary and Vancouver.
I'm interested in that series.
I have picked Islanders, Rangers, Lightning, Montreal, Ducks, Wild, Flames, and Blackhawks to the next round. Let's say Ducks, Lightning in the finals.
Really?
Let's take the Ducks.
No one's gonna watch that.
Ducks, Lightning.
Ducks, Lightning. The interstate series there. From
Wings, Penguins though. Wings, Penguins.
Wings, Penguins. Yeah, that's right. Get that gun. I'll fund that myself.
Can't happen.
We'll make it happen.
All right.
We appreciate the time. Yes.
You got it.
That's right. Charlie.
Yes.
Josh Hamilton has a drug problem as well as an alcohol problem. He cannot control himself. He needs these things to live. And the Angels do not want to pay him money because they say he tested positive and should be suspended, even though Major League Baseball said no, he will not be suspended. Whose side is right in this? The Angels for not wanting to pay him, or Josh Hamilton for saying, "Oops, I did shit again. Sorry."
I did hear something about this on the radio, driving either to or from work one day, and the thing I took away from it is that it's just kind of a crummy situation in general. I remember the guys on the radio were going very heavy on this is the Angels' fault and they are terrible for doing this. I'm kind of the opinion, I guess, that it's sort of both of their faults and they're both being kind of crummy about this. I mean, ultimately, I don't know who you can fault more, but it's certainly a shitty situation because you don't like seeing guys relapse. And I think in general you also don't like seeing I don't know, it kind of seems like the Angels are just being kind of skeezy about this, trying to save cash a little bit. But I certainly get why they're doing it too, because it's still a business at the same time. So I guess that's my long political way of not actually giving an answer to the question that you asked.
Well, how about this? Would it make a difference if he was actually worth a shit?
Probably. I would imagine so.
Yes.
He is worth a shit. They're paying him $24 million.
Let me rephrase this. What if he was a good player? What if he could hit the baseball? Because he cannot hit the baseball.
Can't stay healthy, that's for sure.
This would make a difference.
Yep.
Yeah, it was Josh Hamilton from 7 years ago.
Sure. But it is not. So. Mr. Stack, and I listened to the Stackin' Show 2 weeks ago, as I do each and every Tuesday night from 6 to 8 on KSTJ 90.7 in the Brookings immediate area. You can also listen online at KSDJradio.com.
We appreciate that.
I've listened to the program.
Wait, how come Steinkirk left the group?
He's hungry.
Oh.
You were talking 2 weeks ago to a caller. You had a caller call in, a friend of the program, and we talked about this last year. You mentioned Joe Mauer again, and you mentioned you want Joe Mauer out of Minnesota.
Yes.
Why do you want this?
Well, now it doesn't seem like it's that you get anything for him because he really doesn't hit. He doesn't hit for power. And
he never has.
No, but there was a big market for him, as a catcher, and then they moved him to first, and it just seems like the last 2 or 3 years the Mauer market has gone sour. I thought that the best thing at the time would be for the Twins to trade him to someone like the Yankees or the Red Sox who really wanted him, could take a huge chunk of that salary, get a couple of good prospects in, and just rebuild it. But the fact that the Twins have that homegrown guy or that hometown kid, for them to do that would be almost suicide to a degree, because a lot of the reasons why the Twins fans come out is because they'd like to see Joe Mauer because he is the hometown kid. And I wanted to see him gone because the Twins weren't going anywhere with him, and his trade value was fairly high at that time, so they should have gotten rid of him and gotten something for him.
What is the trade value for Joe Mauer, Drew?
Pretty much non-existent now.
I don't...
Yeah, if they seriously said, we're trading this guy, 4 years left?
Yeah. I don't think you'd get a lot. It's just because of the salary. Now, I don't know what he's getting this year. Maybe like $19 million?
I think it's 23 for the next...
23. Yeah. No, I don't... you wouldn't get nearly enough to make it really even enticing for Minnesota. Which isn't to say that Mauer's not a good player. I mean, I think he's still a very nice player. I mean, he's an on-base guy if he's healthy and doesn't have a down year. You'd have to see, but the big barrier is the contract. It's not necessarily about performance. It's a little bit about it. It's just more about the fact that he's 31, I think. He might be 32 now.
31 right now.
It's an age thing. It's a money thing. That's kind of, I think those are the two main barriers there.
Would you say he's, 1 week into the year, he's their best player? He's their best hitter?
Yeah, he's their best hitter still, I think. Yeah, I mean, look, we're not that far removed from Mauer being a 320, 400 OBP guy. He had a bad year in 2014 with some injuries and stuff, and so if he has a bounce-back year and hits 310 and
is an all-star?
I don't know. I don't know if he'll ever make an all-star team again. I think he could, but I wouldn't gamble on that.
Okay. Listening to the Twins games here, talking about them, something that's pissing me off is these announcers.
Yep.
Not just the Twins games, but all around baseball. First off, MLB TV, first year using it. What's kind of your strategy thus far? How much have you used it?
Every day. I like watching the West Coast games for bedtime. Big fan of that. I've seen pretty much every team play already except the Colorado Rockies, which is kind of funny. But yeah, it's a hell of a thing. I like to. I like using the ballpark audio feature because because the broadcasters tend to wear on me after about 3 innings. I'm a fan of that. Sometimes I do the radio feed. There's all sorts of stuff to do.
How do you watch it?
What?
Via what device? You hook it up to a TV?
I have a media streamer. It's called the Roku.
Never heard of it.
Very nice.
I've heard of it. Yes.
Like stream it on the TV and very good.
Very good. So
What are you
listen,
streaming on?
the PS3 mostly. PS3, PS4. So
You have a PS3. You have a PS4 or a PS3?
both. We got both.
You got both.
We sold part of the liver, got both. So
Oh, look at that. Very good.
yeah. Different devices. It's last year I got it. Very impressive. Like it again this year. Listening to some of these announcers, I saw a tweet where the Cardinals announcers apparently said something about how much they like wins with a pitcher. I don't know the context, but they think wins are a good thing. And with Blyleven and Dick Bramer talking about, you got to get that runner over to third with less than 1 out, get the guy from second to third, and it's like, how about you drive the guy in, hit a ball to the outfield, drive him in, because you get the guy from second to third. You have 1 out. That means the next guy, the only way the guy can score from third, that next guy can hit a ball and you can sack fly, you can get home. Except then that's it. That's it. If he fucking gets out, the next guy can't do that because there's 2 outs.
Just don't record an out. The point of hitting is to not record outs.
Get a walk. Get a hit.
You get walked. That's fine.
So I'm up to my.
I think the gist of this is you have to deal with these same announcers for 160, 162,
Yes.
150, 160 games a year. They don't get very many breaks. Baseball is they do have to fill a lot of time, so they're going to say some stupid shit from time to time.
Yes.
Because there's just not a lot of action. You got to go 9 innings. It's sometimes more, 10, 11, 12, and they're going to repeat themselves probably at least 7 dozen times throughout the entire season.
They say the stupid shit every time. You got it. His job here is to get him over. It's a bit much.
But I mean, sometimes they won't even be talking about baseball for an entire inning. And
That's fine.
I would rather they just riff on whatever the hell rather than the get him over to third base thing.
I don't like this. I mean, I get that each team or each set of announcers has to spin it positively for the, for their team that they're covering. But sometimes you got to call it like it is and stop with the sugarcoating.
One thing I do look forward to each year is when we find out that Bert Blyleven's been suspended for 2 weeks for swearing while they were on air. I always do look forward to that each season.
Yes.
He had a tweet in the Detroit series when it was raining. They had a rain delay, so he tweets out that you can't see the skyline of Detroit and the downtown is not very good, and the people did not appreciate that. So for some reason he deletes the tweet and apologizes. I mean, was that necessary? Should he just said okay? Yeah, I would say. I mean, Detroit has been joked about plenty of times. I mean, was this necessary for him to say, I'm sorry, I stepped over a line making fun of Detroit?
No, it was not necessary.
To be fair, he's probably been in trouble for a few things in the past, and he just thought, I want to get ahead of this right now and have Detroit not be the hill I die on defending, saying I have the right to do this.
I think the history is one of the reasons why he issued the apology. If this was a first-time offense, then I don't think it would have been too big of a deal. But given he's got a lot of prior offenses.
He's a felon.
Yep.
Good.
Yep.
Anything changing with the Twins here? Trevor May's coming up. Phil Hughes has started off rough. Then once you get to the third, fourth inning, he seems to have been better. Bullpen does not look good. I think there's going to be some roster changes here with some pitchers moving. I mean,
yeah.
How long should we wait here?
We'll get Nolasco back in after his stint on the DL. I don't know.
How about this?
Okay.
My thing with the pitchers and having the pitchers go an extra inning or so, and the closers coming in for an extra couple outs in the eighth. is this so foreign to managers that they don't even, this doesn't even go through their heads, saying, we're ahead by 1 in the 8th. There's a guy in first and second and 1 out. Maybe I should bring in my closer so we can get the fuck out of this inning and go to the 9th.
I don't have any idea because, I mean, if they do think of it, they never act on it.
Like, they don't even get them warmed up. It's not like they're up and throwing. It's like, well, if this guy gets in, maybe, if they get a couple guys on base, we'll bring him in during the 8th. But it's like, they don't even attempt to say, oh, Mike, we cannot go to our closer before the 9th inning.
I don't. How funny was it when, it was in today's game.
Boyer, or who was it?
They brought in Boyer instead of letting, what's his first name? Aaron Thompson just finish the 8th. Here comes Boyer. Oh, man. 4 batters, 3 hits, home run.
4 runs.
So it's just pathetic. And you were talking about how they could put in Perkins there to better ensure a one-run game to face Robertson, and then the White Sox didn't even have to pitch him in the 9th.
But they did.
They did.
My whole thing with the pitchers is Sale had about 98 pitches. I would have him go one more inning to the 7th. He was killing the Twins, no doubt. Have him go to the 7th. Bring in David Robertson, who just killed them a couple days ago, but struck out at least 2 batters. No chance of getting a hit off of him. He pitches the 8th and the 9th. Those are probably the 2 best pitchers they have. You can put those 2 guys out there for 9 innings, you're probably going to win.
So your thing about the closer, your best reliever, is that you would rather have a closer, maybe the best reliever appear in fewer games, would have a greater influence on the games that he's in.
You don't have to pitch as much, just pitch more when you're in there. I mean, there was no reason for him to come out today. He was already warmed up. They were ahead 6-2. You didn't use him in the 8th when you were up 3-2. No reason to use him in the 9th when you're up 6-2. So leave him there. And it's a weird thing where that save situation, if it's a 3-run lead, they'll get him up right away just so we can get the save, which is quite ridiculous.
It is. Yeah, the playing for the save is something that I think you just gotta let it go, and then however many saves a guy has at the end of the year, big damn deal.
And hopefully the Braves continue with this closer by committee thing. So, and the Yankees as well. The Yankees as well with Betances and Andrew Miller. Hopefully they continue to do that. Charlie.
They only had 1 shot saved this week.
Yes, not very good.
Yep.
Did Charlie have something? Did you have?
No, I was just earlier. I was just going to say. I mean, this is like 20% joking, but like, is there something in contract somewhere where it's like, no, we need to get more saves, so managers have to do things to get more saves, so closers get more incentives, and then they're happier and want to stay in the city longer, or because now I don't follow baseball as much as you guys do, but certainly I understand what saves are and how they work, and I would just agree in general that, if it's the 8th inning with 1 or 2 outs, why are you saying we need to leave this guy out there? Why not put in, if your closer's your best relief pitcher in a close game, why not say, you know what, we're going to put him out here, and he's going to get 4 outs instead of 3, or he's going to get 5 outs instead?
I completely agree. There's got to be incentives and contracts for a certain amount of saves. 30, 40, 50 saves. And I have no idea why managers don't. I mean, we as fans look at this, watch a lot of games and see, put this guy in there. Get 1 out. Get to the 9th inning. Get with this 1-run lead. You can pitch an inning in the 3rd, an inning in 2/3. He can do that. Or Perkins, he's pitched 1 inning in a blowout at Detroit. Put him in the 8th so you can get to the 9th down by 1. Give yourself a chance. Somebody gets the hold of 1, gets a home run. You can tie the game, and then Perkins can go out there for the 9th again. So it's really, really bad.
It seems like sometimes, especially with pitching, and I mean, you can say this in all sports, but especially with pitching in baseball, there's an element of rolling the dice. Like, okay, we're going to roll the dice on this guy that's not as good and leave him out there longer, and then put in our theoretically fewer pitches and fewer outs. where it would seem better to, like what Kriens said, you might not get as many appearances, but you can make a bigger impact if you take out the guy who's in there that's not as good and put in the better guy, and then maybe roll the dice on the better guy going 5 or 6 pitches longer than he should, as opposed to the guy who was in there that's not as good and having him go 5 to 10 pitches longer than he should.
I mean, this all is less of an issue if you just have 4 or 5 above average to really good relievers, and some teams have really good bullpens. With today, I mean, with the one-run game, they bring in Boyer. I mean, for crying out loud! What did you think was gonna happen? He's not good. There's like 250 appearances in the major leagues. There's all this data. There's all this data about Boyer, and then about him not being good, no matter what kind of pitching he's done. And like a decent leverage situation, and the Twins bring in a bad relief pitcher. It's like, you have some better options here, and it is only a 1-1.
J.R. Graham has done well. That would have been a lot better.
Bring in Caleb.
He's in the AAA.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
That's what I'm...
Yes.
So
who cares? Send the bullpen out there to get him and bring him in. Make him wait. You got unlimited timeouts.
Good.
All right. Can I just ask one thing here? Granted, it's just a week into the season, but the Twins are already 1-5. Would this team be better had they brought someone from outside of the organization in to manage?
Right now, I don't think it matters because.
Well, you just talk about with the Twins announcers saying, oh, they should move the guy over to third, and they were talking about that because that's been the Twins' brand of baseball for a while. It's not like, oh, let's go get a power hitter, and with the managing of the bullpen and everything. I just wonder, and Paul Molitor is going to be fine. I hope he's good. He did very well during his Twins career, and he's had a presence within the organization. I just think a fresh outside perspective would have helped from the get-go when you fired Ron Gardenhire.
To me, I think what we know about what managers do, like, for real, we know about how the batting order they make, and we know about the decisions they make during the game. Now, I tend to think that the very best managers maybe turn a loss into a win 2, maybe 3 games a year. That's not insubstantial. I mean, if you're talking about a team that's in the playoff race. We tend to think that Joe Madden made the Rays a couple games better every single year, just from being smart about lineups and
shifting the defense.
Shifts and how we manage the bullpen, how we manage the pitching staff.
But let's say let's say Madden had joined the Twins instead of the Cubs. Would he have put in Boyer today?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I don't know. Probably not. Your general manager is your most important guy. It's not your manager. Your general manager brings in these guys. There's a little bit of collaboration with your manager about players, but it's the GM's call. This is Terry Ryan's team, basically, 1 through 25, with a little bit of Molitor's input that Ryan can just overrule. Although there was an occasion where Ron Gardenhire lobbied hard for Jason Bartlett to make the Twins last year, and he did, and that's so. The manager can have an effect, but to me, you have to look at this front office with Terry Ryan and with this moron Rob Antony.
Rob Antony.
As being really 1 and 2 with putting together this really bad roster to start the season.
Why do you think they are so reluctant to stock the bullpen, for example, with all these young arms, which you have mentioned, rather than these retreads like Tim Stauffer and Boyer and guys like this instead of a Caleb Thielbar or any one of another handful of guys instead?
I honestly don't have any idea. what we heard from them when the season started, they thought this team was able to contend. And they had nobody anywhere else thinking that the Twins were a playoff team. I mean, nowhere, anywhere. And yet, at least publicly, you had Terry Ryan and Rob talking about how they think this team's pretty close. And they might, you know what? They're going to have stretches where they play pretty well. Teams tend to do that, but this is not going to be a team that's playing meaningful games in September.
Where would you guys rank the Twins? Let's just not say just Ryan as the general manager, but the management office in general of the 30 Major League Baseball teams. Where would you guys rank the Minnesota Twins in terms of just management?
Right now, or over the course of the last decade?
Generally now. If you want to say the last couple of years, that's fine, or even 3 or 4. But I mean specifically now.
Well, this will be the 5th season where they're going to be finishing either 4th or last in the division. I think they're definitely going to finish last this year. So I don't know where they end up. I mean, I thought they would win. I thought they would lose maybe 91 games. So you got 5 seasons of 90 losses or more. That's a lot. And just looking around how other teams have built themselves, I would say Philadelphia has been really bad at that. Arizona Diamondbacks have been really bad at that.
I mean, Tampa Bay doesn't have much there for the cupboard is bare in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I mean, Tampa's sort of headed in the wrong direction, I'd say. Minnesota's down there. I mean, they are down there.
Bottom 5?
I think so.
Although, I mean,
I'm just going to say that they really messed things up when they opened up Target Field and went all in for it that year.
No.
But they traded some good prospects away when they got Fuentes and Cap, and then that was their whole downfall. They got swept by the Yankees. They've never been the same since.
They didn't trade anybody away for those guys.
Wilson Ramos.
Wilson Ramos was for who? Matt Capps? Yeah.
Capps.
Ramos is a guy. I mean,
better than Capps for sure, yeah.
I'll give you Capps. That's it, though. Capps was another managerial decision. They'd run him out there every game, and blown save after blown save after blown save. And it was a terrible decision. But, they got a bunch of top 5 picks, Buxton and Sano and all these guys, and they traded Revere and Span, so we're going to see these guys this year, next year. So we're going to see. I would go higher than maybe bottom 5. I'd go just in near the top half just because, 15 around there, just because they have all these guys coming up in the next couple of years. So.
Well, yeah. In the meantime, it's been poor.
Yes, you'd say it's poor. Yankees beating the 7-0. We do have a Tanaka after a terrible first outing. He does have a no-hitter through 2 2/3. So well on his way to shutting out the Red Sox. NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs, NHL starting sometime in the next couple of days.
Wednesday.
If sources say it's Wednesday, I don't know where I heard that from. Somebody said it was Wednesday. The NBA starting on Saturday, so they got a couple of games left. I'm very interested. One could say I'm even hard.
Yeah.
These Western Conference standings here. Houston looks like they're up by 8 versus New Orleans with 6 minutes left. So if that score were to stay the same, San Antonio ahead in the 4th versus Phoenix. You have Indiana beat Oklahoma City. So Oklahoma City and New Orleans, that's going to come down to the final game. And the thing that I'm interested in, a week or so ago, looking at the Spurs potentially being that 6 seed all year, now up to that 2 seed. It's between them and Memphis, Clippers, and the Spurs all have the same record with 2 games to go. Not sure how the tiebreaker ends up here, but who do you like, Mr. Amon, for that 2 seed out west?
San Antonio Spurs.
Okay.
Absolutely. I mean, whatever, the 2 or the 3, whatever they end up. But I think they're the best of the teams that are fighting for these 2 through 6 spots. What can you say? Kawhi Leonard again, underrated player, huge for them. Tony Parker decided to be Tony Parker again, and here we are talking about the Spurs and Warriors for a Western Conference Finals matchup.
I would say this is fairly important. Grizzlies, Clippers, Spurs, all on the same record. Spurs should win this game in the next 10 minutes. Then the Rockets are a half game back. They should win. So then you have the same situation, 4 teams. One of them is going to be the 6 seed, which is quite amazing, and they're all worthy of the 2 seed. So I think that's a pretty big deal. Meaningful games, teams that will not rest their starters, hopefully, in the last 2 games.
The Grizzlies have really kind of tanked here lately. They're not playing their best basketball. A lot of people thought that they would be the team that would give Golden State the most trouble in the West. I like Drew's pick with San Antonio. They're playing their best basketball right now. And what's the famous Mark Twain saying about reports of their demise have been greatly exaggerated?
Yes.
So
I think it's essentially that.
He was talking about the Spurs.
Yeah, I'm talking about. But people were saying, "Oh, they're the Spurs. They're like 6-10 in their last 16 games. They're going to miss the playoffs this year. They're old." And it's like, Greg Popovich knows what he's doing. Shut the hell up.
Yes.
Dallas, to me, if they don't win a playoff series this year, given what they went through to get Rondo, they made that trade in the offseason with the New York Knicks. I think Rick Carlisle could be on the out because they haven't played worth a damn here this second half, and so they look like they're going to be out. So Portland's got injury issues. Give me Golden State and San Antonio. But I am interested. I would like to see New Orleans in there because I want to see Anthony Davis.
Okay. We also had Russell Westbrook today put up 54 points, as Mr. Schottenkirk has said, on 43 shots. He shot 43 times.
That's it. That's over 1 point a shot, so that's good.
Unbelievable. 5 of 15 from 3.
It doesn't really bother me that he shot a bunch. I mean, he plays so fast, and their pace is so quick that he just puts up numbers. I mean, in short order, there's plenty of times where he's playing 20 minutes and he's got 25 and 8 and 7. It's incredible.
8 assists, 9 rebounds today, almost another triple-double.
What do you think that does for the team, though, when they know that, Westbrook's going to take 40 shots, when am I going to get a shot? Like, do you think there's any sort of dysfunction or
I think in most sports, if you win, I don't think it really matters. It's only in losing efforts that people get upset.
And the thing about it is he's put up some amazing numbers, but they have not won, and they may very well miss the playoffs. But I would say, you look at that supporting cast, it's not very good. Enes Kanter, I think, I'll go on record saying he'll be an all-star next year. He's done very well for them coming over from Utah. Besides that, Deion Waiters is a nice 6th man, but he's got to start and play 40 minutes a game. Not much on that bench.
No.
So a thin team, and I'd like to see Oklahoma City in there just to see what Westbrook could do in a in a 5-game series, get trounced by Golden State. But
Golden State, it wouldn't have any trouble at all with OKC. They could have trouble with Anthony Davis. I don't think they really have a guy to guard Anthony Davis quite as much as they would to
Westbrook.
Off Westbrook a little bit. I don't know.
Andrew Bogut, I don't want to hear it. No.
Okay.
Andrew Bogut, no thank you.
No, thank you.
Charlie, who gets the final spot in the West? New Orleans, they play at Minnesota, followed by hosting San Antonio. Oklahoma City hosts Portland, plays at Minnesota. So they both have the Timberwolves and both have playoff teams left.
I'm going to say Oklahoma City gets it.
Anybody like to
Russell? I'm going to say Westbrook gets a triple-double. Make Schottenkirk upset by shooting 53 times, but finds a way to score 59 points. And then they, like Amon said, that they don't beat Golden State in round 1. Golden State's going to the finals, though.
Good.
New money. It's a new money NBA season. Golden State, Atlanta Hawks finals.
Jesus Christ almighty. what everybody thought at the beginning of the year, Hawks,
Yep.
Warriors,
Yep.
same old shit. I don't know what they got planned for TV on Wednesday last night of the season, but hopefully somebody has something planned to where, I mean, you got Spurs, New Orleans.
I think the Pacers are on TV.
I don't need that shit.
Let me get this up here, because I'm pretty sure that's who it is.
I mean, New Orleans, San Antonio, last game of the season, tons on the line for both.
Here you go. Charlotte at Toronto on ESPN. That's since Charlotte's dog shit now. That's good. And then Pacers at Grizzlies. So
no.
that's ESPN's schedule for you.
That's bad. That's no good. So we'll have a full playoff preview next week. Celtics, Nets, Pacers, 2 of the 3 gets in. Hope the Nets, they can pound sand. I hope the Celtics and the Pacers get in. So
Yes.
there you go.
Last season, it was the Pacers and the Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals, correct? Or was that the semifinals?
It was the Eastern Conference Finals.
And now there's a good chance that neither of them make the playoffs. I just think it's funny that when you were one series, 2 teams, one of them played in the finals, one of them almost did. Neither of them are. I shouldn't say neither of them will be. We got to see how things play out, but a pretty good chance that neither of them are in the playoffs.
It's amazing.
Next year.
Both teams, though, similar paths. They lost key guys to injury, and they lost someone big in free agency. Miami's, of course, bigger with losing LeBron versus Indiana losing Lance Stevenson, but still.
Think LeBron's a better player than Lance Stevenson?
That's slightly.
I would agree.
I'm going to need some...
You should look at Lance Stevenson's numbers this year. It's remarkable.
Charlotte got
His
burned.
plus minus is through the roof.
They are quite shit.
Has an 11
NBA, it's not good. NBA playoff preview next week. Stacking.
Yeah.
What do I have to know here for this hockey?
Okay, I don't know why my NHL guy Marcus Traxler left. I'm pretty sure Schottenkirk knows a thing or two about the NHL too.
I'm gonna leave now because of the hockey stuff.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Bye.
He's leaving. He's eating his chips. He's got to finish his bacon chips.
I'm hungry again. Time for the chips. Goodbye.
Num chips.
Fuck. You stay. Oh my. Okay, so now that I get you guys up, first off, will either of you guys watch over or under 1.5 games of the NHL playoffs this year?
I'm not watching a full. I'm not watching a full goddamn game.
No.
I'll probably catch total based on watching 5 minutes here, 10 minutes. I'll probably catch. I don't know.
No, I'm not asking for like a total 60 minutes, but will you watch at least parts of games?
I'll watch parts of a lot of games. I'll watch.
Kudos to the NHL for doing their scheduling this way, but they're adding USA as a broadcast partner. They've done that.
That won't affect Monday Night Raw, will it?
It might.
No.
No,
I bet it won't. I'm assuming Monday Night Raw gets better ratings than the hockey playoffs.
But the NHL has never used USA for their playoffs. They've always done either NBC Sports Network, CNBC, and NBC Sports Network along with NBC.
A channel that people get and a channel that people know about. How about that?
Yeah, that would help. But I mean, they do this with the Olympics, so it only makes sense that they would go to their sister stations for that. 2 things to really know: the teams with the best goaltending in the East, it is Ottawa Senators. The Hamburglar, maybe you've heard of this guy.
Nope.
John Hammond or someone. Ottawa's goalie. And have you heard what his record is in 23 starts?
23-0.
20. He is 21-2.
Where the hell did he come from?
I don't know.
Well, he was in these McDonald's commercials, and then they just thought, man, you're really good at making sure you get those hamburgers. Let's pretend they're bucks instead.
Come out of nowhere. Ottawa wasn't even sniffing at the playoffs. It was Boston and Pittsburgh, and no one else for these wild card spots. So if Boston's out of the postseason, Ottawa's in.
How did that happen?
I don't know. It's because of Hammond. So if you're looking at it, you have again, in Minnesota, they totally changed their season around by getting Devin Dubnyk from Arizona for a 3rd-round pick. I would guarantee there's not a better trade value that any team received this year then Dubnyk. So Minnesota, Ottawa, best goaltending in each respective conference. Of course, Minnesota would have to go through a much more difficult road to get to the Stanley Cup Finals.
Do they still reseed after the first round, or what?
They do not. So
I can look at the bracket and I know what the hell's going to happen here, at least?
Okay. Yes. Yep. You will know.
Okay.
A couple of years ago, they elected to go play in each division rather than just seed the top 8 teams. So each division, there are 2 divisions in the East, 2 divisions in the West. Each division is guaranteed 3 spots, and then the other 2 are the wild cards.
So the one seed in the East, the New York Rangers.
Yes, they have to play up until the Eastern Conference Finals. They only play teams within their division.
Okay. Okay. They play the Pittsburgh Pirates, the Andrew McCutcheon-led Pirates.
Yes.
The Penguins here. The Penguins were the last team in the playoffs, so I like that. The 1 versus the 8.
Yes. Yep. Essentially.
Okay.
You could look at then like Montreal would be the 2 and Ottawa's the 7. So it works out like that, but each division is going to play themselves out a champion, which gets to the Eastern and Western Conference Finals respectively. New York, the best team in the NHL, they survived the injury with Henrik Lundqvist, their goalie. They have a lot of top scoring across the board. Very dangerous team. Pittsburgh's in a major slump right now. They had to beat the terrible Buffalo Sabres just to get in the playoffs, so they're not looking good. I would have loved to see New York and Washington get in the Eastern Conference Finals because Alex Ovechkin's really turned his game around this year, buying into more defense. Barry Trotz, a longtime fixture in Nashville. Perhaps you remember his days.
I remember he got fired. That's what happened.
Yeah, yep. But I mean, he was a very good coach for Nashville. He's done a remarkable job with Washington there. I'm going to pick those 2 to meet in the semifinals. I'll take Montreal to upset the Hamburglar, and Ottawa, I guess it's not an upset, but they'll get by. I like Tampa Bay over Detroit. Give me Tampa Bay over Montreal. Give me New York over Tampa Bay. Give me New York in the Stanley Cup Finals. On the Western side, the Jets have been a very pleasant surprise this year. Not many people expected them to make it to the postseason.
Well, I mean, the thing with the Jets is they don't even have a quarterback, so I don't know why.
That's very true, but I think that the New York Jets, I think the Winnipeg Jets would play much better football than the team in New York.
Okay.
That's just
Charlie.
Yes.
Who would you take, the Jets playing the Winnipeg Jets in hockey or the Winnipeg Jets playing football? Who's a better?
Which one's more likely to win?
Who would do better? Would the football team do better playing hockey?
I don't think the hockey team would do well playing football, but I think they would do substantially better than the football team playing hockey because, I don't know, I think there's just a lot of people in the United States, especially if you live somewhere where it doesn't get cold, that have never ice skated, that don't realize how difficult ice skating is unless you do it like a lot and get really good at it. Like I can physically put on skates and like move and turn a little bit, but like I can't do like the put your foot sideways and stop, and I have to use walls to stop me and stuff. And I would imagine there would be a whole lot of really athletic New York Jets that would all of a sudden be sliding around face first on the ice when they realized they couldn't do stuff.
Jackrabbit head coach John Stiegelmeier affectionately refers to his offensive linemen and defensive linemen as the fat guys. The fat guys would not do well on skates.
No, I think the football Jets would beat the hockey Jets like 63-0 or something like that, which is pretty bad. But the hockey Jets would beat the New York Jets in hockey maybe like 23-0, which I think is much, much, much worse.
But see, the thing for the Jets, they just have to stick an offensive or defensive lineman in goal and hope that he just clogs the net.
There you go.
So that's the one thing. But they won't even. I bet if they even got 5 shots off in an entire game, that would be something. But give me the Ducks over the Jets there. This Vancouver-Calgary matchup, Calgary's really come out of nowhere this season. No one really knows how they've done it. So it's got to come to an end at some point. Give me the Canucks. So I'll take the Ducks over the Canucks in the semifinals. I'm going to be a homer here and take the Wild over the Blues because why not? And Chicago, if they had Kane out for a while with injury, if they get him back, they turn into a completely different team.
I believe he will be back for Game 1. Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, but there was talk that he might not even come back for this series. He's got to get a little bit in game shape. I'm sure they'll be watching his minutes the first couple of games of this series. That's going to be something very interesting to watch. I'll take Minnesota against Chicago in the Central semifinal. In my home pick, I'm going to take the Wild and the Rangers in the Stanley Cup Finals, with the Rangers ultimately winning. But if I had to come up with an official pick, give me Chicago against New York, a battle of the original six. The playoffs, though, should be great. They start on Wednesday. I hope you watch a few games, especially the Wild. Kriens, you'll probably have to cover that for your daily job.
You feel good about that pick?
Where did he go?
I don't know. I was just asking if you feel good about your pick, though.
For the Wild, I don't. Here's the thing. It's so difficult in the Western Conference. It is by far the most difficult of the two conferences. The Wild have played so well since getting Dubnyk. They're playing with a lot of confidence, but they've had to be in that playoff mode for the last 3 months. They may be running out of gas. I have much more faith that Chicago or St. Louis would come out of the West than the Wild. But I'm going with the homer pick.
You know what would be the best thing if the Jets and the Jets played hockey against each other?
Yes.
The best thing would be when the offensive or defensive lineman or the linebacker from the Jets got into a fight with the hockey guy and realized that fist fighting while you're on skates is much different than when you're standing on your own feet, and would go to swing and would miss wildly and fall on his face then.
And there's a good chance then that the ice would just crack. So
depending on which guy, it's possible.
Kriens,
Nick Mangold goes to pull a haymaker and misses. It can be pretty brutal.
Yes. So that's my pick. Charlie, do you have a Stanley Cup final pick?
I am going to say that the Sharks beat the Bruins.
Very good pick. Excellent.
Are they both in the playoffs?
Neither of them are.
Okay, so not a good pick. How about the Islanders over the Coyotes?
The Coyotes aren't in there, but the Islanders are, so that's good. You're one of two.
Islanders over the Avalanche.
The Avalanche aren't in there either. You want like the Ducks or someone?
Avalanche over the Islanders over the Kings.
The Kings aren't in there either.
I'm running out of hockey teams on the West.
Say the Wild.
No, it's the Wild. It always throws me off when Minnesota's in a Western division. When you look at a map of the United States, nothing about Minnesota screams West. But that's another. That's something we've debated on the show before, so
yes.
You can look at previous episodes of that.
Yep. It's almost like they should do it regionally based.
Unbelievable. So you picked the Rangers and who? The Ducks?
I picked the Rangers and the Wild in my homer pick, but I will take taking the Rangers against Chicago in a battle of two of the original six in my official. I'm going to say the Rangers. The Rangers get it done this year.
Okay. I'm looking at this bracket here. I want to see the Islanders do well. I want to see them do well. They're shutting down the moving next year to Brooklyn. Don't like that. So I want to see that. In the West, I want to see Calgary do well. I want to see a Calgary Islanders final with the Islanders winning.
The thing, I'm all about the ratings, and I like seeing the NHL ratings for the playoffs be good, be relatively decent. Now, again, they're going to get probably blown out by the NBA playoffs, but I'd still like to be a respectable margin. There are 5 Canada teams in the playoffs. For the NHL, it's great, but overall,
would that hurt ratings? Would that hurt ratings because
yes.
Canada's not? not in there?
Yep, American ratings would drop significantly if you got any Canadian team apart from Montreal against like a Tampa Bay or Anaheim. It would be very bad. Even Calgary against the Islanders, that would not be good.
I think my
Chicago
favorite thing about the hockey playoffs and television this year, something that I'm stealing from Marcus Traxler, but apparently there's 3 games in the first round that are going to be U.S. versus Canadian teams, and that they're on the USA Network, and that really feels like we're kind of giving the finger to Canada, which even though I don't dislike Canada, I think it's fun to do that to other countries sometimes.
Well, yes.
So thumbs up to the USA Network.
They will be playing on the CBC too. The Canadian Broadcasting Corp. So, which also Terrence and Phillip, I think, are on that show as well.
Yeah, Chicago and the Rangers would be the best ratings championship.
Yes, without a doubt. The fact that Boston's not in there, that their epic collapse really hurts the ratings overall. But you don't have a lot of Southern teams in there. Out in the Western Conference, really you have the Canada teams and Anaheim. Those wouldn't draw great ratings, but you could get St. Louis, Chicago, or Minnesota. I think they would do just fine. Even Nashville, to a degree, they got a lot of. There's a lot of good ratings viewers out there in Tennessee.
We're guaranteed at least 3 Canadian teams in the semifinals, and we're guaranteed at least maybe 1. See if the Ducks there. You got the Ducks with the Jets. The winner plays Calgary or Vancouver. So a chance there for a Canadian team to make the conference finals.
Yep.
Which would be good. Yep. Good. And you also, I'll save this for next week, you put together a bracket for more people to see this year.
Yeah, I
put
can.
Together this year's NCAA tournament bracket based more on regions.
Yep, here's the link to it. We can get into this more next week.
Okay.
We discussed a little bit after the show last week about John Wooden and all the titles he won and versus Gino Auriemma and like who's a greater coach. And then we talked about how the rating or like the tournaments back in the day were far more regionalized. You didn't because of travel issues and whatnot. So the level of competition might not be the same as it is today. So I put together a bracket, stringing together all Western teams, put them in the West, the Midwest teams in the Midwest, South in the South, and East in the East. With, I'll say it right now, Kentucky, Ohio, and Texas are probably the 3 states that are most difficult to peg and would probably change or vary from year to year.
So we'll get to that more next week and break that down and see if that's an idea that how that would change the tournament. If it would make it better, keep it the same, make it any worse. Initially, what is it better, worse, the same, and any difference that you see?
It's tough. I would say that based on the regional format, there would be far fewer upsets, or the likelihood that we would see far fewer upsets than we do in a normal year with the way they normally structure the tournament. Just how in my rankings and putting the bracket together and everything, the East is pretty much a cupcake, and the Midwest is murderer's row. You would see a lot of upsets in there, a lot of good teams. It's very difficult to seed them all. I think I have Cincinnati as a 14 seed in the Midwest.
Really?
Yeah.
Cincinnati's a 14 seed.
Yes. Yep.
They were an 8 or a 9?
Yep, they were an 8 I think they were a 8 seed against Purdue, a 9. It's difficult, but I did do it where you'd have the play-in games, like if you played 2 on Tuesday, then they play on Thursday, the play-in games Wednesday, play Friday. Out of the play-in games, you have 2 games featuring teams that won their conferences, and then you have 2 games with the 4 teams who are at-larges. So I got it all worked out. I don't know how I did it. It probably wouldn't be like that in most years, but definitely like to get more into this because I think there is some intrigue and added interest, I think, with this setup.
I think the most important question is, for the way that it used to be all the time, did you find a way to have UCLA playing Long Beach State in the first round?
No, I did not.
Okay.
Unfortunately, Long Beach State was one of the first, or the next 4 teams out, and UCLA was one of the last teams in. So, unfortunately, I could not make that happen.
And you used just the teams that made the tournament. If you could go back and just, based on region, maybe pick certain teams in this region, pick the top 16 teams out west.
Yep.
And designate conferences or teams or states.
I would have probably subbed out Colorado State and for like UCLA or Texas. I would have put Murray State in, put them in the South, because I'll just tell you guys right now, the South has Kentucky as the 1 seed and Duke as the 2. I know they're, when we talk about this more next week with the group, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of uproar about how can you put Duke as a 2 seed and with Kentucky as a 1, and I have Villanova and Arizona out, Villanova in the East, Arizona in the West, and Wisconsin as the 1 in the Midwest. But if you look at it, I also looked at how teams were playing at the end a little bit. Duke lost in the semifinals, so I thought, was it the semifinals of the ACC championship or the quarters?
Semifinals to Virginia.
Yep. So, kind of looked at how the teams were going there, where they were at. Duke losing that game knocked them down a seed. Arizona winning their conference championship. You had Wisconsin win their conference championship, and then you had Villanova in there too. So it kind of looked at how each team was playing at that time. But inevitably, the seeding is going to be messed up because it is regionally based.
So
you said that.
Yes.
Or I was just going to say, you said that Arizona was the 1 seed. I'm assuming Gonzaga was the 2 seed out west.
Yes. Yep.
Who was the 3 seed?
The 3 seed, and again, this could change from year to year, but I put Oklahoma and Texas as states that they would either be considered South or West. They've moved into the West bracket this year. 40 of the Texas teams did. All Oklahoma teams were in the West, so I gave Oklahoma the 3 seed in the West, taking on Eastern Washington in the Seattle region.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like Baylor in there too. So
Baylor's a 3 seed in the South.
Okay, certainly something different to look at. So we'll take a look at that more in depth next week and see what the first round of the NHL playoffs produced. And we'll finally get our seedings for the NBA playoffs. They will be 1 day into the season, and we'll do the show next Sunday. So for those that have left us, may we remember Mr. Schottenkirk, Mr. Almond, and Mr. Traxler, Travis Kriens here, Nathan, and Charlie. Would anybody like to challenge anybody to a trivia contest next week of sorts, similar to what we did with golf? Sport person, anybody have the balls to challenge Hildebrand? Something college football.
I challenge Stack into the movie Die Hard trivia contest.
Oh God! As long as you say it's not a Christmas movie, I'll be okay with that. Well, maybe I can try and get some NHL in there. But it's tough to take down Schottenkirk. He's a pretty worthy opponent. He's very knowledgeable in all areas.
After what we've seen, I feel like if someone's going to challenge someone, it should be someone challenging Schottenkirk since he won today.
Here's the deal. We'll see if he sees this. We'll see if this makes the rounds here. But I will be as bold as to challenge Mr. Schottenkirk to a wrestling trivia question of sorts.
I like it. And since no one else does anything, I've got to come up with like 3 wrestling questions.
You need to come up with all of them. Drue has dabbled. Marcus could put up an attempt stacking. You can be the bell. You can be the timekeeper, I guess.
Okay.
I can come up with some interesting wrestling questions.
A ladder and a pile drive.
I can't guarantee that there will be another 1 title away from a Grand Slam though for wrestling.
Name the guys that have won the U.S. title the Intercontinental title, but not the World title. Those are the guys. So, we'll see if we'll see what happens next week with that, Charlie, and see if Drue or anybody else wants to a wrestling trivia showdown. So that should be fun.
I will politely bow out of that one. I'll see what I can do for a trivia question, but I won't get in on the question per se.
If you put together an effort, we'll see what happens. So,
I put an effort with this bracket here.
that was good. Search the Wikipedia, search the Sporkle, see what you can come up with. So, for everybody in the lounge, the 113th edition, we'll see you next week. NBA playoffs and more baseball. Get your candidates for the Harvey Award winner, the Two Steakhouse.
More NHL playoffs too.
NHL playoffs. We'll get hard, we'll get cold next week inside the line.